And I realize that anyone who stands up to authorities today is considered a danger to society. I get that. I truly understand that the idea of standing up to authority makes you somewhat suspect to the authorities. In fact, there's a clinical psychologist named Bruce Levine who wrote a book that deals with this issue of anti-authoritarian clients who are being diagnosed by the healthcare authorities as suffering from, listen to this one, oppositional defiant disorder, or ADHD. In other words, if you stand up to authority, the evil psychiatric establishment is now declaring you mentally ill, saying you're suffering from oppositional defiant disorder. They're doing it to your children, too. If your child stands up to a mean teacher, a sick teacher, a crazy teacher, a perverted teacher, they can tell the school nurse, who's another whack job, that your child is suffering from an illness called oppositional defiant disorder, and then they can recommend that your child or you be put on medication. We are now moving into the period where there's no return from this period in America. If you are going to live in a society that breaks people's willingness to stand up to evil, calling it oppositional defiant disorder, or will break you down in other ways, they're going to turn you into a victim, and you'll never come back from it, and it will get much worse. And whether you're dealing with it at work, where if you stand up to, let's say, diversity training, or you're dealing with it in a school environment, or you're trying to rebel against truly destructive people in this society who have authority, and they're declaring you suffering from oppositional defiant disorder and recommending that you be treated by a psychiatrist or put on a medication, I want to remind you, the ex-Soviet Union put dissidents in mental hospitals. They declared them to be mentally ill because they didn't see the beauties of the Soviet system. We're only a hairbreadth away from that. If we don't stop the psychiatric profession, the medical profession, the drugging professions from pushing us down this road, and that requires you, the parents, to stand up to them when they say your child has ADD or ADHD. You have to resist them at every turn. And I hate to keep telling you, but I've been fighting that battle since 1980-81 when my children were young, and I wrote Healing Children Naturally because this book was written to fight the forces that were trying to put kids on Ritalin then. I saw what was going on. I saw it in the schools. If you think that my kids went through school without me and Mrs. S fighting with them, you're mistaken. We had to fight these degenerates every step of the way, and I call them degenerates because, to me, they're social degenerates. If they want to tell you that your child who has a spirit, if your child has spunk, if your child has the ability to reason, that they have something wrong with them, then I call the people who say that degenerates, and I stand by those words. So it's only gotten worse. It's not gotten better. And I want you to think about what I'm saying to you. The desire and the ability to resist authority is the mark of a free man. The desire to stand up to authority is the mark of an independent individual.